Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of How Much Do They Make series. And today we have a special guest. We have a business analyst for you.
Yep.
Welcome, Pippa.
Hey. Hi, Pippa. Hi.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the Humble Penny. We're really excited to have you. Before we actually jump in, it would be good to hear from you, Pippa, on what on earth a business analyst actually does. Like, what does it even mean to be a business analyst? Do you want to just unpack that for us?
Yeah. So a business analyst helps a business or an organization manage change. So mostly I work as a liaison between IT and the business. If I have to go into further details, for example, if a company needs to improve their processes or make a change to a system, a business analyst comes in between that IT and the business to understand what the business needs, and then translates the business needs into the terms that the IT or the IT people can then work on to meet those requirements for the business.
Thanks for explaining that. Do you want to just tell us how on earth you even got into this stuff? Did you do a degree in business analysis? How did you get into this part as your career?
Well, I actually just fell into it. I have a degree in psychology, so it has absolutely nothing to do with IT or business analysis. I had a few friends who were project managers and some business analysts as well, who would always go on about their career and how much you can make.
Yeah.
Wow.
And at that point in my life, I was sort of tired of studying, because with psychology, you have to specialize and there's a lot of studying involved. And so I thought I'd give it a try. I've always been the type of person who likes to give things a try and just see how it goes.
So tell us, Pippa, what does a day in a life look like typically for a business analyst?
There's a lot of understanding processes, reading documents, interaction with stakeholders, meetings, a lot of meetings. Yeah, and there's a lot of interaction with people, with stakeholders.
Interesting.
Right.
So I'm guessing by that each day for a business analyst is not quite the same, or is not,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, it's not quite the same. Some days I'm reading documents to understand the current processes or identify pain points or needs for the business. And then some days I'm meeting with the stakeholders who require the changes.
Yeah.
And then some days I'm documenting requirements. And some days I'm doing analysis of data, a lot of Excel and spreadsheets work.
So you sound like quite a bit of a geek, Pippa, because
Yeah.
we're not. I don't know many female business analysts, unless I'm completely misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Actually quite male dominated.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Which I quite enjoy.
Okay. So what would you say then, given that you're quite a unique individual in this space, what would you say are the top 3 things, or maybe even habits, that make you a success as a business analyst?
I would say having good communication skills, and having empathy as well, because a lot of times stakeholders are resistant to change and forget the value that you're adding to the business or the organization. So you have to try and understand where they're coming from and show that empathy. What would I say? It's patience.
Okay.
Yes, patience, because there can be, in certain projects, there can be conflicts with stakeholders.
Yeah.
I was going to
just
ask you
being
about
able
that.
to manage yourself.
Yeah.
As well as manage the stakeholders' expectations.
I was going to ask you, actually, funny you mentioned conflict. I did wonder whether because you're dealing with change and you're kind of in between different aspects of an organization or organizations. What sort of conflicts do you come across, and how do you actually deal with them?
Yes, so with conflict, sometimes you have very high level, up to C-level stakeholders or board members or CEOs, CIOs who have a lot of power, especially in the change that the business needs. And sometimes they might start to solution rather than understand the journey or the pain points of the end users of a system, for example. So in one instance, the high-level stakeholder already was solutioning. He already had a new system to replace a current system, whereas the users, without actually looking at what pain points the users of that system had, or whether the new solution will actually solve the problems of the users. Right. So during workshops, this stakeholder would always push for that system. And I had to do my analysis to understand what issues the users had with the current system. How can we save costs, time, and improve efficiency with the current system? What can we automate? What manual processes can we automate? If the current system isn't able to meet those needs, then I go out to find other systems, top 3 systems, and possibly include the new system which this stakeholder wanted, and just do an analysis of all those, the current system as well as the 3 new systems, and look at ways that each of those systems can meet the needs of the users, and then present that during the workshop, and try to gain buy-in for that stakeholder to understand that, you're actually the solution that you wanted, which I really understand why you want it. That's where my empathy comes in.
Yeah.
But this other system needs, and explain what value it would be adding to the business.
Wow.
Sounds like you're having to negotiate quite a lot in this job, which is very interesting.
And be quite persuasive to say, look, in the nicest way, great idea, but this is what you need.
Especially as they're so senior, potentially to you as well.
What do you love about what you do?
The money.
You're so honest, It's keeping it real, right?
Straight up. Every day to keep going. Because sometimes working with people and energies, it can actually drain you, and trying to persuade people to understand what they actually need.
Yes.
It can get quite difficult to manage, but I keep remembering it's worth it.
Yeah, I'm being paid. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Given that you have an aspect that you love about what you do, what do you find most challenging about your job?
It's managing people.
Yeah,
that's the most challenging. That's why I said one of the top skills to have is communication, effective communication, and empathy. So the greatest challenge is just managing the people, managing their time, managing their expectation, and trying to, like I said previously, solve the conflicts that you may experience. Those are the challenging aspects of the job. You have to be a people person.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
So tell us, how much income per month do you actually make from your current role?
After tax, around £4,000 a month.
That's awesome. And does that? Do you want to just tell us roughly what makes that up? So, as a business analyst, do you get bonuses, or is that just your basic salary?
Yes, that's actually my basic salary, and I get bonuses as well, up to 16%.
Okay, well, that's pretty good.
So it can vary quite a bit then.
Yes, it can vary. Yeah, but at least £4,000 a month.
Okay.
Awesome.
And just curious as well, is outside of that, are you also exploring other ways that you might be able to generate an income to kind of diversify your earnings?
Yes, I teach yoga at the weekends.
Okay.
Awesome.
And I also make lampshades.
Nice.
Interesting.
And I also make soaps, body butters, lip balms, which I sell on eBay.
Wow.
Awesome. So guys, if you're interested, we'll put her Instagram handles and is it Etsy handles, eBay handles. Yeah. And you also have a YouTube channel, right?
Yes, I
You
do.
also, okay, so if you want to check out what she does, guys, go and show her some support. We'll include all of those links in the description box. So look out for that.
Yeah. What would you say is the maximum income potential in that role as a business analyst? Like, how high could it go from maybe like a gross income perspective?
I think it depends if you're in contracting or working as an employee. I've had experience of both. And in contracting, you could earn up to £1,000 a day.
Wow.
Yeah. And in working as an employee, I would say for a junior business analyst, you can earn around 32,000 per year. To mid-level around 50, 55 to 60. And then to senior business analyst, 65 to 120, thereabouts.
Right. So that amount you mentioned to us, that net income of about £4,000 a month, what's that grossed up? Just remind us.
70.
About £70,000 a year, which is fantastic.
Awesome.
Okay.
Do you have any plans of increasing your income? And if so, by what means?
Well, since the lockdown, I've started to be interested in investing. I've also watched a lot of your videos on investments, but it's quite difficult to understand, but I'm sort of getting into it. So I started investing about a year ago, and also saving in high interest accounts.
Okay.
And other ways to meet my level of income is to pay off my mortgage and have less outgoings.
So are you able to do those things on the side because your day job is not as demanding from an hours perspective? What sort of hours are you typically working?
That's about, I think, 7 hours per day. Yeah. But in that 7 hours, I'm not actually doing a lot.
Yeah. Interesting.
And it depends on the cycle, the life cycle of the project.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
At certain stages of the project, I can be really busy. And then at certain other stages like testing or creating documents where you don't really have to interact much with people, I can work on my own time.
Interesting.
And so I'm able to invest that time to other things like making the products that I make.
I wanted to ask you this actually. Would you say that the role of a business analyst is quite a good role for a woman who maybe wants to one day start a family? I'm just curious, just because we've interviewed other people who we've had a banker, for example, and that sort of job is quite challenging because one's working really long hours.
I think it is because I'm a single parent, so I have a 10-year-old, and I've been able to manage that on my own, really. Yeah. So I think it's a good career to go into.
Can you
work remotely?
Can you work remotely if you wanted?
Yeah.
Yes. So a lot of times it depends on the industry you're working in or the company and what they require. So in my industry is insurance. So a lot of times I don't have to be in the office. I can work from home full time if I wanted to, which is actually what I do now. Yeah. So yeah.
Got to say that is fantastic for that level of income and the hours you work. The flexibility of not spending a lot of money on travel and winning back your time as a parent. I've got to say that is actually pretty good.
That's fantastic. It definitely is. So tell us, Pippa, what top 3 pieces of advice would you give to somebody who also wants to become a business analyst and earn as much as you do and potentially a lot more in the future?
I would say try to do a lot of research. Yeah. Put yourself in the space, networking, finding other people who also have this sort of experience. Watch a lot of YouTube videos, which is what I did when I started.
Interesting.
Trying to really understand whether it would be a career path for you. And then possibly doing a foundation training, which I did. It was just for a weekend, and doing that foundation exam. In the UK, there is a BCS business analysis diploma you can work towards, and it starts with the foundation level. And with that, even without a degree, you're able to apply for junior level roles and get your foot in the door to just have that beginning experience.
Yeah.
That's
so
fantastic.
It's good you mentioned that. I was going to ask you, you mentioned networking. What, in a practical sense, would you say to someone is a good way to network as a business analyst? Like what sort of platforms and places like that would you recommend to someone to use?
I would say go on the BCS website. Yeah. Also on LinkedIn, find other business analysts, ask questions. And there are networking events that happen on IT, in the IT space.
Right.
So try to find yourself in those networking events.
So we're going to now step into talking about your personal finances. We're talking about your career so far. How would you describe your relationship with money, Pippa?
I think it's better now. It's much better now. I budget, and it can come across as obsessive because I look at my budgeting spreadsheet every day just to make sure I'm keeping to it and not going outside of my spendings. So
I wonder if that's because you're a business analyst. Are you more like more detail orientated because of the nature of your day job?
Possibly, but when I was a teenager, I've always had to manage money as well.
Yeah, right.
Between me and my siblings. Yeah. So I've always had that relationship with money and budgeting, not going outside a spend or an expected spend. So I think it's just kind of grown with me in that way. And in business analysis as well, we work a lot with spreadsheets.
Yes.
So I'm always doing something on Excel.
So what do you think that, growing up, you've learned from your parents about money?
To save. Okay. To save and spend wisely. Spend wisely. Seeing the impact or the effect, the positive effect of that saving and spending wisely has also helped me, because when I see that example around me, then I can see what they get from the process of saving and spending wisely.
Were there aspects of your upbringing that you thought, I would do differently to my parents?
My stepmom, she loved fashion.
Okay.
And I didn't see her budgeting. She would just always spend on new hair, new clothes, new shoes, Right. I also learned a lot from that anyway. So,
yes, of course.
Yeah. Examples that I can give where I've learned to not, like, where there's a fashion craze going on, I've tried to understand which is more important, buying that new shoe or saving up for the house.
Yeah, there's a show on Netflix, I think it's on Netflix or Amazon Prime, called Mortgage or Marriage or something.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think is such an interesting concept where they're deciding, should I blow all my money on my wedding or should I save it for my house? I'm thinking to myself, it kind of seems like an obvious answer, but not to everybody. Some people are like, nah, forget the house. I want to have a party and have a good wedding.
Some people just want the wedding and the house.
Yeah. All right, so let's get a bit more personal. What do you actually spend your money on each month?
I think I spend a lot on personal care. I'm signed up to, what's this yoga? I do this yoga subscription. I can't remember what the name of the company is. And I also try to get a massage, facial every month.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Every month.
I think
that is excellent.
Really cool. It's needed.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think we don't even do that. We don't even get a massage and thingy every
really?
month. Like, I think, honestly, you're making us jealous at it. I think that is so awesome.
I deserve it.
Yes, you do.
Do you know what?
You absolutely do, girl.
I really think that is awesome. It's, because we've got in our community, we've got lots of single parents in our community called Financial Joy Academy.
Yeah.
And we know it's hard. We know it's hard. And I don't want us to conduct this chat with you and not bring in that element, because being a parent, holding up a full-time job, having a side hustle, all of that can really take it out on you.
It could definitely take its toll on you. So yes, it's great that you're looking after your, mental health and well-being.
Yeah,
exactly. So that I'm able to give myself better, especially to my child and in my career. So it all works out for the best, really.
All right, so tell us, Pippa, can you think of a specific regret or money mistake that you made growing up, and what did you learn from it?
This is it. Everybody has one. So don't tell me you haven't got one, because everyone.
Weird. I can't actually think of one.
Really? I'm shocked about that.
Maybe. Well, it feels justified. Even the things that I want to say, it feels justified.
So you didn't go like crazy, like splurging on like shopping sprees or buying expensive jewelry or like, I don't know.
It's weird because I've never actually been the type of girl who loves jewelry or shopping. Yeah. I don't really do a lot of those. I mainly spend on my hobbies. I buy a lot of hula hoops.
Okay.
I buy a lot of shea butter to make soaps. And sometimes I don't actually sell them,
Right,
so
right.
I would say I spent the money on my hobbies.
Okay, so no regrets.
No regrets, yeah. It's all justified. And I've learned from those spendings. I've grown from it, even though at certain points when I've spent, I haven't actually made the money back.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that would be the regrets.
Okay.
Interesting. The fact that you can't think of one straight away says quite a lot.
Yeah.
It must say that, I don't know.
And plants, I guess. I spend a lot on plants as well, but it's also
plants.
Justified.
Yeah, I mean, like money on plants. I mean, that is just so needed. Like we've gone from, I don't know, I think we've got more than 50 plants in our house now.
Well, my aim is to get at least 2 plants in every room. At least 2
plants in every room.
That's at least.
And then, like in our kitchen, I think we've got maybe 12 plants in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Like there's just stuff like literally plants everywhere. And we didn't used to be like that. As soon as we bought one plant, we were like, yeah, we kind of like having plants around.
Yeah.
Buy the next one.
Yeah.
And it just feels good, doesn't it, having plants around? What would you say is your ultimate financial goal? Like, this is your dream now, right? We're going to talk about like when you're by yourself, you think to yourself, do you know what? This is it. This is the thing I'm trying to aim for. What would that be?
It would be 500k.
Okay, that's so sensible.
So it's for 500k, as in like, this is, if you had this in the bank, then boom,
Yes, I can quit my job possibly and invest in something that I would like to do. Possibly start a well-being business.
Do you know what? I don't know why, but I just get a sense that you do quite well. Although we don't know, a lot about yoga, but I get a sense just listening to you that you have quite an interest in this area, that this might be something you might do quite well on, particularly if you can do it from home. I don't know if, do you have to do a yoga business? Do you actually have to have an actual yoga studio? Do you have to?
It's quite difficult, especially in this day and age. I have taught online yoga classes, but I didn't enjoy it as much as having that connection with the person. So it's a bit of a difficult one to know. Yeah.
Mary and I have been a bit kind of like, I used to get when I used to work in the city, I used to get yoga as a perk included in my package. And there's a yoga studio in Marylebone we used to go to every 2 weeks. And I was very skeptical about yoga. But then I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go and like, just go and see what it's about. And I really quite enjoyed it. I've got to say, like, I'd come out feeling like, wow, this is actually really good for me. Because the industry I worked in was like hyper stressful and, lots, you needed a lot of your mental game to kind of work a lot, and a lot of spreadsheets and modeling and all that stuff. And I just found having that physical, because we're talking about this difference between online and physical, having that physical space where you were actually in the room with other people really made quite a huge difference, I thought.
Yeah, I think it does, because you get that connection. I don't know how to explain it, but then you get that feeling from other people's energies that you don't get online.
Yeah, I agree.
Pippa, you have been fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. It's been very insightful just to learn about the whole world of being a business analyst.
Yep.
And yeah, thank you so much. Like I said, we'll include your handles in the description, guys, if you want to check her out.
Yeah, definitely head over.
Show her some support.
Yep.
And thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, and we're going to just say quickly, if you've really enjoyed today's video, we'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button, because that just helps get this video promoted to so many more people. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and show us some love for the work we're putting into our channel, as well as into this particular series, just to help people really progress and get insights they might not ordinarily get on their career journeys. We're going to put in the links below, previous links to previous interviews we've done across various other careers, such as going into accountancy, banking, and alternative careers such as becoming a YouTuber and things like that. Do make sure you check those out as well. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video.
Thank you, Pippa.
Thank you, Pippa. Yes, it's been absolutely awesome. And as ever, guys, in all things, be thankful and seek joy.
Take care.
Take care. Bye.